What makes you unique, apart from being a good leader?
Music is my soul. Music's the way I express. It's my religion.
Why don't you show us what you're talking about?
Everything's a reflection of this.
What the bloody hell was that?
That's me.
It was almost non-human.
I reflect it in music.
No.
When you reflect that, you reflect music.
Hey, Cornflakes. A little over a year ago, my Instagram account started to take off thanks to edits like that. Now, some of those clips have made their way onto here, YouTube, as shorts, but today I wanted to share some that YouTube may have missed. And I want to look at some of the reaction to the clips in the Instagram comments because it's pretty hilarious. Okay, sticking with Manson here for a sec. Who remembers this show from the 80s?
New boy in the neighborhood. He's there just to take good care of me.
They say, hey, man.
Like he's one of the family. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. And I sing, I want Charles in charge of me.
Probably better than Scott Baio. For some reason, that clip got my Instagram account banned for over 3 months back in January 2025. Why? Apparently it contains symbols, glorification, or support of individuals we define as dangerous. No, it doesn't.
Now, would you get in the car with this man?
You know, finding the right pair of eyeglasses is a tough thing. At LensCrafters, I've got everything I need to help someone find a pair of eyeglasses that they'll really love. Whatever my customers need.
Much more credible as a human being.
LensCrafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
I gotta say, that's one of my favorites. I bet I watched probably 10 or 12 old LensCrafters commercials before finding this exact one. It cuts together so well that the comment section is full of people debating whether or not it's a real commercial. I just want to know how much blow and drugs were on the table in that pitch meeting for that ad. Like, who thought this was a good idea? Just me. Certainly not LensCrafters. What the fuck? Ed Kemper? He is a serious monster. I wonder how she felt having to do her part knowing that we're gonna add him in. That's creepy. Don't worry, I'm sure she's fine. I remember when you could get a pair of glasses in 1 hour. This lady's not concerned about the serial killer spokesperson. She's just reminiscing about the good old days. They should have hired Dahmer for this ad. Ah, yes, the other famous glasses.
I just killed a young woman. I slammed down the lid of the trunk. And I panicked. I thought I just locked the car keys. Oh my God, I locked them in the trunk.
At AAA, we've been answering calls for roadside assistance for over 90 years.
I'm kicking on the trunk lid and yanking on it. I started to run and I tripped over the gun that I'd had in my pants that I had totally forgotten was there. I stopped. I said, stop and think.
AAA will be there for you. AAA, we're always with you.
That one is pretty twisted, but it works. It was one of the earlier ones I did, and I remember at the time when I made it, initially I watched it back and I was like, oh, is this one a little far? And I just went with it and it took off. I mean, there's some funny comments. A couple of people are calling me out on services that AAA doesn't provide. They don't open trunks. Really? That's your problem with this clip? Not the guy talking about the horrific murder? Guy's like, AAA won't open trunks. This other guy, he just offers up a solution. Just break the window. Again. Calling AAA? With the body in the trunk? Come on, pal, just break the window. Like, okay, let's look at one more Kemper mashup.
My first date was an absolute disaster. Boy, she didn't ever talk to me again. It was awful.
At E-Harmony, we use a scientific system to help you find someone who's looking for someone like you.
I was just such a dork, taking her to a John Wayne movie and Denny's.
All you have to do is be honest about yourself, and they take care of the rest.
I'd never been on a date. You know, I was locked up since I was 15. But I can't tell her that.
At E-Harmony, our process is designed to elicit your true self.
I'm sitting there with a severed head in my hand, talking to it. Literally, I'm about to go completely flywheel loose and just fall apart.
Find that one person that is going to appreciate you and love you passionately for who you really are.
I am a human being, and I killed human beings, and I did it in my society.
eHarmony.com. Visit us today.
Come on, Ed. Don't be so hard on yourself. What's wrong with Denis? I feel like if he didn't murder you, Ed Kemper would be a fun hang. You know, there's a lot of this in the comments on Ed Kemper videos. A lot of people going like, oh, Ed. This may sound odd, but out of all the famous serial killers, if you were to erase all the homicidal tendencies and all that entails, I think Ed Kemper would have been a genuinely good person. If you can just look past killing his grandparents, mother, and 7 other innocent women, he's such a good guy. A softie, really. I'd have climbed Ed like a tree. I get it. He's tall, but does this imply that you f*** trees? Neil Warren, the co-founder of E-Harmony, was my parents' therapist. My parents divorced. Before we had E-Harmony, there were dating shows.
Do you have any little quirks that set you apart from other bachelors?
Sexual fantasies of control, power.
And do you have a dating motto?
Depersonalize another person and view them as just an object.
Well, that's good, and it's a much better dating motto than kill or be killed. So, best of luck to you, sir.
Now, the dating show mashups, we're an easy choice, really. It's just someone asking a question and then a separate camera shot of the other person answering. That said, I did have to comb through several hours of episodes to find bits that I thought would work with Dahmer interview footage. That's scary sick. Why would they air this? Where was the psychologist? Don't worry, the psychologist is a little further down in the comment section. Looking at his non-verbal communication as someone studying psychology is really interesting. Non-verbal? I mean, non-verbal is important when someone is lying or trying to conceal something, but I mean, you don't need to look at the non-verbal cues when he's straight up stating out loud his dark intentions. These are 2 different videos put together. Finally, this guy gets it. But that was just the host interview. How did Jeff handle questions from The Bachelorette?
Bachelor number 1. When I was younger, I loved to play doctor. What was your favorite childhood game?
I was interested in taxidermy.
No other childhood games, huh?
I don't know, I went to great lengths.
Okay, like what?
Preserving the bones of dogs and things like that.
Okay.
His hair. Yeah, come on, Jeff. This is national television. Can you take 5 minutes in the mirror? Maybe wear something other than that green jumpsuit while you're at it? If only we had seen the warning signs when he was on this game show. I hear ya. Imagine the producers. They must have kept them up at night. Do Rodney Alcala. No editing needed. I see this one a lot. But I mean, yeah, he was on a dating game, but that kind of defeats the purpose of what I'm doing, right? Okay, back to Manson. One of my first mashups was this one. This was the first movie mashup I did. Instead of a commercial or something like that, or a TV show, it was seen from a film. And I think it works pretty well. Man, F. Adam Sandler. Not Manson. Sandler. F. Sandler. Finally, something that makes sense. I couldn't agree more.
Jeffrey Dahmer told me that when he cut bodies apart, it repelled him. He found it horrible.
The smell sometimes was annoying, but I would put cologne on. Of course, here, so I could smell the cologne a lot better than I could smell anything else. Canoe or something like that was always nice.
This was the very first one I made. And honestly, it was a fluke that I made it. I was just watching the Iceman tapes and he mentioned Canoe Cologne, and I thought, I wonder how Canoe feels about that endorsement. So I slapped it together and it blew up for me. My reels up to that point were only getting like 400 views on Instagram, and then boom, this one did 2 million. VIX. Yeah, this video opened me up to a ton of people claiming they know better what works to mask the smell of a body. Cool. I always found scented candles help mask the smell myself. Must be the world's strongest scented candle. And this guy thinks the Iceman was just a hack. The smell bothered him. Must have been doing it wrong, being sloppy. And this woman is pretty sure she's onto the ruse. Fabrication or not, talk about tasteless advertising. Tasteless? I thought we were talking about smell.
A gentleman recently called my radio show and he explained he was having trouble using a floppy disk with his computer.
At that point in time, well, it's a total mess.
Well, you don't have to make the same mistakes other people do with their computers in order to learn from them.
Okay, now, that one is a little more involved. I love it though. I'm not gonna explain the reference if you don't know it. Just go down into the comments and ask. All right, that's it for the first of the mashup episodes. I'm probably gonna do a few more because I have a lot more of these clips. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, do me a favor and subscribe. And if you got any of your own ideas for what you think would make a good mashup, let me know down in the comments. See you next time.
3, 4, hit. And the more relaxed you are, that's what makes it look like. They look at me like I'm crazy, and that's what makes it look like hip hop.